inside one of the best restaurants in the world. There are a lot of good restaurants all over the world, but one restaurant has managed to exceed and become the trailblazer of avant-garde cuisine that cooks nothing short of luxurious. The popular Molecular Gastronomy restaurant, the Fat Duck. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what it feels like and what goes around inside one of the most innovative restaurants in the world, the Fat Duck. With never-before-tasted food served, it has earned the reputation of becoming one of the most sought-after restaurants to dine in. Now, let's enter the Fat Duck. The Fat Duck is a 3-star Michelin restaurant that can transport its customers on an unforgettable journey through emotions, recollections, and nostalgia, in addition to serving the best food to have ever existed. It incorporates molecular gastronomy in its food menu, a food science approach that takes into consideration the physical and chemical reactions of food when various techniques are applied, something its owner, Heston Blumenthal, is widely known for. Bringing in an exceptional culinary experience through the use of experimentation and constant innovation has made the Fat Duck one of the most world-renowned restaurants there is. Located in a 16th century building in the heart of Berkshire, England, celebrity chef Heston Blumenthal runs the restaurant to his own accord to maintain the avant-garde and experimental food that they take pride in. Currently being one of the 5 restaurants with 3 Michelin stars in the United Kingdom, the 14-course tasting menu ranges at almost $390 per person. Reservations alone for this restaurant could take an average person several months before it could even be granted, as every night they only have 42 diners, equating to 42 people tasting their well-prepared dishes. With 42 chefs working for the restaurant, each customer will be paired up with an individual chef to prepare all the courses that will surely leave the grandest expression and memory. After initially opening as a French bistro, Blumenthal's vision was more about science and psychology incorporated with the art of cooking. He has taken pride in himself as being a constant learner and a willful reinventor. Soon enough, the restaurant acquired its coveted brand of having one of the most precise and scientifically inclined styles of cooking, paving the way to be the home of molecular gastronomy. Blumenthal believes that cooking with the idea of pleasing multiple senses at once is the primary key to allowing people to experience the contrasts and elements a dish houses. And one of the most popular creations credited to him features a dish called Sounds of the Sea, served with seafood foam on top of tapioca, eel, and breadcrumbs, along with edible sand, placed inside a conch shell that mimics the sounds of birds and ocean waves, triggering the primary sense of hearing in food. With a menu that stars 14 courses, one of its featured luxury meals includes palate cleansers derived from frozen green tea and vodka through the use of liquid nitrogen, some bacon and egg, crab ice cream, and the infamous snail porridge that has granted the restaurant public attention that has skyrocketed its popularity throughout the years of its operation. The Fat Duck also served a mock turtle soup, said to be thematically inspired by Alice in Wonderland. In this certain dish, a gold leaf-covered beef stock that has been freeze-dried was formed into a fob watch is dropped into a teacup. A waiter would then pour tea made out of beef stock into triggering the dissolution of the gold and watch. Vegetables and ox tongue are also served that could also be placed into the soup with toast sandwiches as its side dish. This particular dish was first developed to appear on the television cookery program called Heston's Feast. But after it intrigued many viewers, it was then officially added to the restaurant's menu. It doesn't come as a surprise that the Fat Duck has been incredibly keen on the food they serve to its long-waiting customers. It is said that before a dish earns a place on the restaurant's exclusive menu, countless experimentations, alterations, research, and development have to be made before it reaches perfection, with the chefs giving it the go signal to be served. Through experiments, Blumenthal and an esteemed professor from the University of Bristol created a menu of dishes, including slow-cooked lamb that prevents startling the meat's fibers and causing them to seize. In 2000, methods like cuddle freezing for the molecules to break down in them and increase their tenderness were being utilized, as well as methods like cooking vegetables in mineral water after learning that the amount of calcium in tap water increases their discoloration. Behind the Heinz Head Pub, which Blumenthal also owns, is a research facility where the chef and 15 colleagues he hired can create and experiment new delicacies. It served as the location for most of the laboratory scenes in the BBC television series from 2006 to 2007, entitled Heston Blumenthal: In Search of Perfection. Inside the facility, various kinds of culinary geniuses and crafts are born from experimenting with herbs and ingredients that are not typically imported to a Michelin kitchen. They also practice a variety of traditional and modern cooking techniques.
So you may see on the first page, inside your booklet, there's a dragon gluten.
To test out the sciences behind it and work their way around them. The laboratory is also home to the first application of liquid nitrogen in the kitchen, something that has now been widely practiced in multiple molecular cuisine restaurants. Being the first masters of liquid nitrogen, dishes using the method have been a staple in the Fat Duck. Testimony to its artisan and masterful craft in cooking, the Fat Duck earned its well-deserved first Michelin star in 1999. In 2004, it was eventually regarded as the fastest restaurant in the United Kingdom to have gained 3 Michelin stars. It had also been ranked in the same year as the second best restaurant in the entire world, just behind the French Laundry by British magazine Restaurant's elite list of the world's 50 best restaurants. In 2005, it then became the #1 best restaurant in the world. In the same year, the Fat Duck earned a grade of 10 out of 10. An accomplishment only they have earned during that year from the Good Food Guide, and retained the same score later in 2013. The establishment also won the 2004 Meal BMW Best UK Restaurant Award, the overall service and front desk of the year at the first Front of the House Awards in 2007, and was listed as the best restaurant in the world the following year. Many respected food critics only had praise for the experimental restaurant. They have even accomplished major feats that only a few restaurants could earn from major publications, perfect grade stars, rendering the food place exceptional in more ways than one. British magazine The Spectator had said following the restaurant's recognition through 1 Michelin star, said that it was beyond reproach, and that there was a pleasure from the beginning until the end of the overall experience. Blumenthal earned much of its praise for being the first to try out things that have never been done before in the kitchen through bravery and technical experimentation. In a 2005 article from The Guardian, food critic Matthew Fort said that the Fat Duck is undeniably one of the greatest restaurants ever established, and that Blumenthal, the primary chef responsible for its success and uniqueness, is one of the most original that the United Kingdom has produced. Good Food Guide Elizabeth Carter has stated that it was an extremely rare case for a restaurant to be at the same level of preciseness and accuracy as the Fat Duck had been, with Blumenthal being the genius behind the restaurant's distinct ways of service, and eventually the creator of all things experimental and scientific in cooking. It has been widely regarded as the most remarkable restaurant of all time. However, like many others, they were not at all free from people who disliked their ways. During its peak of acquiring its 3rd Michelin star to date, the Daily Telegraph's Jan Moore stated that while the dishes piqued interest in his taste buds, the textures applied in mousses, foams, and creams began to grate, and called the restaurant the Fat Prophet for being overpriced. However, Tony Naylor, a writer from The Guardian, defended the restaurant, seeming to have enjoyed his experience there, and called everyone who thought $390 for a meal to enjoy at the restaurant was too much. Additionally, in 2005, German culinary writer Wolfram Siebeck dined at the establishment and expressed displeasure with some of the dishes and the slow service, calling the mustard ice cream in the red cabbage gazpacho soup a fart of nothingness. There were also many criticisms about the selection of dishes, mainly targeted at the egg and bacon ice cream. Tanganyika-born chef Nico Ladenis said Blumenthal was undeserving to be called a genius relating to its simplicity, and had further questioned and contextualized that if vomit becomes ice cream, is the person rightful to be called a star? With all of that being said, the Fat Duck continues as one of the best restaurants that the world has come to know. 2 decades since its first opening, lines to grab a taste remain endless in sight. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.